if we wanted to take this thing drifting this weekend, we just want to be cheap. We just want to get on track. I swear this works sometimes. Probably just looks like I'm twerking on the wheel. A, we can just put blocks on here for angle. Coilovers would be nice, but we could get away with this. Right, I'm gonna lift you up. Hang on, stop lifting. Look at this guy. Yeah, fuck the side skirt, dude. First problem with this thing that ain't passing tech. Look at all this shit in here, dude. Rear, well, we need a diff. Rear brake and axles. This is a culprit right here. This is huge. Like, that's gonna take a majority of your time if you buy an E46. An exhaust. Now their car's ruined because you were a piece of shit and didn't just put a quality part in your car that you knew was gonna break at some point anyway. Like, don't do that. If you're scared, like if you're scared to drive this on a public road, what makes you think it's gonna be okay to be like, I'm gonna send this thing 50 miles an hour sideways on the track? The whole goal, honestly, is to find the perfect balance. We don't wanna spend 30, 40 hours a week working on this thing all the damn time and then only being able to drive 8 hours. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna find the balance, and we're gonna go drifting, and we're gonna have fun.
Niggas be talking shit, but they ain't with that shit for real. Fuck nigga talking shit, then he gon' get his ass killed. Fuck nigga talking shit, then he gon' get his ass spilled. You ain't really real, you ain't with that shit for real. Nigga, this ain't that for real. This ain't that for real. You's a bitch, you's a lick, nigga, this ain't that for real. You's a bitch, you should quit, nigga, this ain't that for real. This ain't that for real, this ain't that for real. Not legit, you's a bitch, nigga, this ain't that for real. Hold on with the pick, nigga, this ain't that for real. I'm a fucking walking lick, but nigga, this ain't that for real. Yeah, yeah. Shooting with his chopper, make his body dance. Chopper get the bus and do the running man. With her through a party, I ain't got no friends. All my niggas brothers and that's to the end. Would've used the club, but I used the fan. Shooting 223s, you a dead man.
That's a good one. Good morning, ZB Auto. Look at that shifter. What in the fuck? Damn. You're like cutting yourself on something too. Oh, a zip tie. Okay. Pop. Oh, okay, it just goes. Oh, Jesus. I've never seen this thing in person yet.
You ever watch Junkyard Wars?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what this makes me think of.
Yeah, same. This thing's carbureted too. Huh.
For now.
Wow.
I thought that carburetor was such a great idea, and now I'm like, man, I should have just put EFI.
Rethinking that decision, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, so this is the car that you want to drift this year. Alright, well, cool. Let's go inside. I want to see this place. Damn! This is sick. Dang, I'm definitely snagging a hoodie today. This is pretty clean. Damn, this is sick. This is a sick shot. Oh, we're closed.
Yeah, that phone just rings all the time.
Oh. Before I go into this, because that's recording too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, there may be other ways of doing this, there may be other processes, there may be easier things to do. I'm just going off what I'm going off of. So there's two ways that realistically that you could go about this, and one is just being like very, very budget friendly, and then the other way is just kind of just being a madman a little bit and overthinking in a way. Realistically, cool, if we want to go drifting this weekend. Is this thing on arms already?
I don't think so.
It's got camber.
It does seem like it's lowered in the front, but not in the rear. We can put it up.
Hey, I forgot there's a lift. I'm just gonna take the whole tripod. Look at you, dude. A beautiful 330. What did you do? Ah. Fuck the side skirt, yeah. That's rich. Leaving snap-on lights on the ground. Can't hide money. Okay, so we got stocky 46 arms. So we got an adjustable front sway bar. Nope, they're E-box, it looks like, or something.
So it's got E-box in the front and probably...
I don't know if they're actually E-box, but it looks E-box-ish. Cool. Is it just all power steering fluid?
That might be coolant. It's right under that lower rad.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious here. I think it's power steering fluid. This really ain't doing too much for you.
No.
I don't know, we'll rip out that factory gearbox. Anyway, back to the main thing. I got completely sidetracked. Okay, so like, if we wanted to take this thing drifting this weekend, there's not a drift event this weekend, but let's say we want to take this thing drifting this weekend, and we just want to be cheap, and like, we just want to get on track. I'm not saying this is necessarily the right way of doing it, but one way of just doing things is, A, we can just put blocks on here for angle, and then we'll get a ton of angle out of the car then. My E36 is literally just lowered, I'm sorry, my E36 is just LCAs extended 1.5 inches, or 2 inches, and then I use CNC 71 adapters. They work. They're obviously not the best thing in the world because they're just blocks, you know, but they work. And the only thing you really have to do is check the nuts for like the ball joint that goes into the adapter, because sometimes they'll get loose after a couple track events. I prefer to buy the CNC ones, but if we're trying to be cheap, we can get the eBay ones. The only problem with the eBay ones, which it'll take a while for it to happen, but after a handful of events, like your eBay knuckles are going to eventually start kind of rounding themselves out, and then your like tie rod, your control, like nothing ever is going to stay tight. It doesn't matter how much you tighten them because there's play in it because it's rounding it out. So that's the front really. I mean, coilovers would be nice, but we could get away with this. And then the rear, well, we need a diff. Oh, you have a rear story bar too.
I didn't tell you the one thing that we did to this car when we got it was drop the subframe and weld it in the reinforcement plates.
Well, you did do that?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my next thing. That's why I came back here actually.
Well, and I'm glad we did, because when,
oh, yeah,
when we grinded down the paint, it was cracked.
Yeah. Okay.
Like there was already cracks starting, so I'm glad that we did it.
For anybody who doesn't know, E46s have a huge, we'll go to this side so you can see it, have a huge problem where the area, oh, they are E-Box. Sorry, squirrel brain. They have an area or an issue where they'll crack around here where the subframe mounts. So before you even like, people say before you even go out and fucking like clutch kick these things like on the street once or twice, like do this. I've been riding E46, so like, you know, I don't.
Apparently it's a problem with the E36s too.
My E36
not
is,
as bad, but
reinforced in the rear, so I don't have to worry about it either. But what I do see here is a parts store axle. Junk.
But it's brand new, Corey.
No. This, if you're breaking axles, this is a culprit right here. This is a fucking problem. All right, these are problems. Put in the clip of the parts store axle from the last drift event I went to. That's a new one. These are an issue. They do not like life. They do not like what we do with these cars. Okay, well, cool. Yeah, I mean, as far as budget setup, the cool thing is we have reinforcements already, so that is huge. Like, that's going to take a majority of your time if you buy an E46. Like, you have to do
it took us all weekend to do that.
Yeah, like, you have to do it. So, like, the fact that that's done is huge. That's a huge step. Like, we're already halfway to going drifting minus a rear end. I mean, that's sick. An exhaust. That's big. You gotta put an exhaust on this thing. So every track's different, but especially if we're going to Evergreen, it's a muffler rule. Like, can't be doing this.
No open dumps.
No. Nor, I don't even know why anybody would want to. So, get rid of this. Do you still have a stock exhaust?
So I do have the rest of the exhaust. When we dropped the subframe, we took it out, and I wanted to weld V-bands on it before we put it back in.
Put a stock exhaust back on this thing. Stock exhaust is good.
Well, it's not stock. It's 3-inch, but there is a little cherry bomb on it.
So it's loud.
It's pretty loud, yeah.
Yeah, alright. We're gonna get you a muffler. We're gonna get you a muffler. Cherry bombs don't count as muffler at Evergreen.
Really?
Yes. So we need to get you a muffler if it's like.
Well, that throws a loop in my plans for the E36.
Yeah.
What if it's not loud?
There's no way your E36 isn't loud.
It's not that loud.
Bullshit. That thing has got to be as loud as a straight plate 350Z or louder.
It's not that loud.
No way, dude. Either
Like,
way,
it's loud. Okay, it's loud, but not like Fender Dump V8 loud.
I mean, this suspension's gonna suck. There's like, you're gonna have a ton of body roll. It's gonna feel like shit. It's gonna feel like a wet noodle on track. But coilovers are expensive, man. And don't just like cheap out and buy like max peating rods, because God, that's a terrible idea, dude.
You'd be buying those
snap.
every event.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've seen those things snap, and like that's one thing I think that a lot of people like slack on, especially like younger generations and whatnot. Like, I mean, I'm 26, so I'm still a part of that younger generation, but like safety is not something to slack out on. Like it's not. Like, you're going on track, you're going fast, you're drifting, you're sideways, you know what I mean? And then like on top of that, and then if you're putting tandems in the mix, like if something fails on your car and then ends up causing a crash or an accident or whatever, like even if it's just you or if it's with a friend and like now their car's ruined because you were a piece of shit and didn't just put a quality part in your car that you knew was going to break at some point anyway, like don't do that. Like, that's fucked. Like, you want to drive as much as you can, so if you put good quality parts on the car, you know, the more reliable it's going to be and the more drive time you get, and that's literally the whole goal. The whole goal, honestly, is to find the perfect balance. Like, we want to make sure that we're not spending a ton of time working on this thing. You know, we don't want to spend 30, 40 hours a week working on this thing all the damn time and then only being able to drive 8 hours.
What are some of the big things that you would say are, like, when you're going to pass tech first time at the track, like, what are common things that people wouldn't have prepared?
I feel like the biggest thing recently is helmets, which is, I don't understand how that's the thing that's causing people to fail tech so much. So helmets, almost any track, it's SA 2015 and above approved. You can't use a motorcycle helmet. Like, a motorcycle helmet and a helmet that you're using on track is two completely different things. Like, if you have a motorcycle helmet and you get into a bad accident on track, the helmet is not designed to be able to protect you in that type of incident or crash or whatever it is. Like, it's designed for like motorcycle crashes and shit, you know what I mean? Not smacking your head off a roll cage.
Is that SA 2015 the year?
Yeah.
So like every year it gets bumped up, or
no? So like, I mean, I have an SA 2020 helmet and SA 2015s. So I'm gonna say maybe it's a 5-year thing then, because probably by
next year it'll probably update 2025.
Yeah, no, it would be a 10-year thing then. Math. Yeah, it would be a 10-year thing then.
We can insert the actual rules here.
Put the actual logistics, legit information here or something, or here. I don't know. Put it somewhere around here. What else do people fail for? Battery tie downs. Your battery has to be secured. Like, again, like, that's just a safety thing. Like, if you're doing a 45-mile-an-hour entry and your battery isn't tied down, guess what's gonna happen to it? It's gonna go, dude. Fire, you have to have a fire extinguisher. I hate to say it, but like, stupid about, like, dude, like, you are beating the absolute piss out of a car on track. Things are getting hot. You know, let's say, like, even if you're doing a damn shop burnout, dude, like, have a fire extinguisher on standby. Like, it is so important. There's so many parts that are moving and getting hot. With buying a fire extinguisher, make sure you're buying a correct one for, like, you know, vehicle fires, things like that. Like there's
there's different types of fire
different
extinguishers.
types of fire extinguishers. So like make sure you're buying the correct type, because you buy one that's, you know, meant for your house and you have oil fire,
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not doing shit at this point. Like, buddy, you're just literally blowing fucking smoke on it for nothing. I guess it might be in the tech rules of like, you know, making sure your shit isn't gonna fall apart. Like, dude, do a bolt check. Like, a bolt check takes, what, 30 minutes? I mean, how long would it take you to do a bolt check on one of these? Like,
yeah, not long.
30 minutes maybe. Like, and then when you're doing your bolt check, grab a damn paint marker and go over to all of your bolts and like mark it. So like a great example would be like your tire rods, right? So like you could literally just take a paint pen, mark the nut, and then mark it on the actual knuckle here, and then if you jack up your car quick
and you see they don't line up
and it doesn't line up, well, guess what? Your shit's loose, buddy. Tighten it. If you wouldn't drive your shit on a public road, then don't go drive it at a drift event. And it's probably a little bit of a crazy comparison, honestly. Like, I might get some shit for that one, but like, seriously though, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna driving my drift car on the street with an angle kit's fucking ass. It's terrible, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're scared, like if you're scared to drive this on a public road, what makes you think it's going to be okay to be like, I'm going to send this thing 50 miles an hour sideways on the track right now? What? Whoa.
With my buddies.
Yeah, with my buddies. Like, that, like, just, dude, it's common sense. Like, if you literally would not drive this on the road, then don't go and, like, do dangerous motorsports with your friends, too. Like, not good. So, again, just being safe. Like, it's all common sense at the end of the day. Like, most people that are getting into drifting are car guys, so, like, just use your car guy common sense. Like, check over your shit. Like, do your maintenance, like, before you start being like, I'm gonna throw BCs on it, I'm gonna throw an angle kit on it, I'm gonna do adjustable arms and all this. Like, no, do your maintenance. Like, these cars are what, 20 years old?
Yeah.
They've been driven hard. Like, this thing has 200,000 miles on it. Like, dude, give it an oil change, do like spark plugs, do valve, you know what I mean? Like,
make sure your coolant's not leaking.
Yeah, do your maintenance. And that's the thing too, like if your shit's leaking, you're failing tech. So like, but yeah, okay, now obviously if we go over to here, like this little sweat of power steering fluid isn't gonna fail tech, but like if your shit's puking on the ground, you're leaving oil stains just from like being there at tech for 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude, wrap your shit up, you're going on the trailer, you're fixing it, you're doing whatever. So like, that's another thing too, like make sure your shit's not leaking, just maintain.
Pull that all the way. Yep, that's kind of tight.
We're even? Okay, we're even. Oh, okay, hey. Okay, so, first problem with this thing that ain't passing tech. Look at all this shit in here, dude. This thing turned into a storage fucking bin. You can't have loose items in your car. Pretty obvious reason. I mean, you're drifting, dude. You don't want this Snapple bottle to make its way to the front. Oh, this thing ain't even open, dude. You don't... Raspberry tea's a good Snapple.
I know, dude.
You don't want your Snapple bottle getting stuck under your gas pedal or your brake pedal or your clutch pedal or anything like that. So, take all the loose stuff out of your shit box, throw it in the trash, throw it in the back of your truck, do whatever you got to do, whatever the case may be, just do it. That's as far as tech goes. Obviously, you need to have a working seat belt. Your seats need to be bolted in and secured. You
don't go and upgrade the seat if you're not ready to upgrade the harness correctly.
You could, yeah, I mean, like I said, you could put a seat in it, but just use the stock seat belt, like if you're not going to do a harness bar.
But yeah, if you're going to do harnesses, do them correct.
If you're going to put a harness in this car, you put a harness bar in. Like, do it the correct way, be smart. Safety is not a dumb thing. It's not cool to not be safe. Like, be fucking safe, man. It's just smart. So yeah, you can use a stock seat if you really want. It will suck. Like, it's gonna suck. Like,
especially these Beamer seats.
Dude,
are like
leather seats. You're gonna
it's like a couch.
You're gonna be drifting. The car's gonna be drifting, but you're gonna be drifting too, dude. you're gonna be so focused on trying to keep yourself planted in this damn seat that it's gonna probably screw up your driving. So, but I mean, and maybe that's just a me thing, because I mean, I'm literally built like top ramen.
I don't know, dude. I slide all over these seats when I drive. That's just street driving.
You're a little thicker than me. So, all right, cool. It's not just a me thing. But anyway, so we talked about seats and stuff and trash inside your car. Anyway, handbrakes. Okay, don't need a hydraulic handbrake right off the bat. You really don't. If you want to just go out and drive, you can drive without a handbrake. It will be a little bit more difficult, but it's also going to make you a better driver.
Would be better to learn without one?
Yeah. I always, in my opinion, it is better to go out in a stock car. Like, I'm talking like, okay, coilovers would definitely be helpful because stock suspension just sucks. But like, no angle, literally no angle, no handbrake. If you could go an old trusty over here, even the steering wheel's aids, but you could use the steering wheel too. But yeah, I mean, just go out, because what you're gonna want to end up doing is like, you will be able to learn the car and drifting. And as you progress as a better driver, you're going to realize where you would need something. So like, you got on a track with no angle, stock angle a couple of times, right? Eventually you're going to realize where you get to the point of, shit, man, I'm at full lock, and if I had 20 more degrees of angle, like, I could link this better. I could, you know, not spin out here. I could do this. But like, the problem is nowadays with the internet and social media and whatnot, is that we see all these guys go out there and girls go out there in these like set up cars, and then now our brains are thinking, well, I can't get into drifting unless I spend like, you know, $8,000 on a car that's caged, angle kit, arms, like the whole nine. That's not the case.
Well, and look where drifting originated.
Yeah, like, I mean, like stock cars.
They didn't have handbrakes or anything.
No, like, dude, they didn't even. Well, they had like
they might have had handbrakes.
Factory handbrakes, like in Japan. Yeah. Factory handbrakes are a big thing. But like, they didn't know to cut their knuckles and weld them weld the tie rod at a different point to be able to get more angle out of a car. Like, all that stuff was, you know, eventually found out. But it's like, people were really good at driving with stock setups, and then eventually, you know, they figured it out. They're like, hey, well, if we added more angle, we could do this. And like, that's almost what every person should do when they're getting into it. Don't think that you have to go out and spend $8,000 on a car. You do not have to do that. I mean, this car was very cheap. I'm not going to say a number. I don't like to do that. But like, this car was very cheap. You could go out, you could buy a SN95 New Edge with a 2-valve for $2-3 grand, sometimes even less. Like, I bought an SN95 for under $1,000.
Just a general rule in life that I've always kind of lived by is like, if you learn stuff the hard way, you won't forget.
Exactly. Like, and it's not like, dude, I mean, we could share this in many ranges of motorsports. Like, if you've never driven a car before, right? Especially, let's say you've never driven a car over 300 wheel. If you go out and you buy an S197 Mustang with a Coyote in it, let's say it's, you know, Whippled or whatever, and it makes 850, 900 wheel. You are not going to know how to drive a 900 wheel car if you're only used to 300 horsepower. If you take it to the drag strip, you might run a faster time with your 300 horsepower car because you know how to drive it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know how to handle it, you know what to do, and you
Well, and I think a common misconception with drifting too is that you need a high horsepower car to drift, but that has nothing to do with it.
It doesn't at all. You buy this car for $2 grand. What, you're gonna put $1,000 into it? If it's a good running and driving car, you're gonna put $1,000, $1,500 in parts into it? Like, that's all you need. We're not even close to that $8,000 mark or whatever yet. Like, a pro car is, I mean, pro cars aren't selling for $8 grand. That's pretty cheap. But either way, you get what I'm saying. Like, we're not even close to that range of spending money yet. Like, you don't need a cage. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going out and learning and whatnot, you're going to the track, you don't tandem. If obviously if there's rules where there's cageless tandems, go ahead. But you know what I mean? Like, the guys I drive with, I'm the only one with a cage, and they're all better than me. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need that shit. You really don't. Like, I just hope that people that want to get into this don't stray away from the like crazy financial part of it. Is drifting expensive? Yeah, it's probably one of the most expensive motorsports. I mean, I'm sure there's people who could agree to disagree to that, whatever, but like, you can make it budget friendly. You totally can.
Yeah, especially to get started and make sure you like it.
Exactly. And just because
you'll like it.
you're gonna like it. There's no way you won't. But like, just because you're being budget friendly about your drifting or your drift season does not make you any less of a driver. Just because like you don't
if
have
anything
cool
it usually
wheels,
makes you more of a driver.
Yeah, like just because you don't have like cool wheels, a cool body kit, a livery, like dude, that doesn't make you any less of a person or less of a driver. Like shit, the drift community is probably the nicest car community there is. I mean, I don't know any other one that's really as nice as the drift community, because I mean like everybody there is there to help you. Like you'll have staff people help you out through the day if they like see a mistake in your driving. You'll have other drivers. Just don't worry about what other people are gonna think too when you're getting into this. Like I feel like that is such a big thing too. Like people are like, I gotta have the flashiest car, I gotta have perfect paint, I gotta paint my shit before no, you do not, dude. Like dude, my E36 last season was 6 different colors. You know what I mean? Like like everything looks shit on it. Like
if you're worried about what people think and you're trying to get into it for clout, you're getting into it for the wrong reasons. It's
already the wrong reason, and there's a lot of people that do get into it for that. And like, just know, like I said, to make that short. Just at the end of the day, when you're getting into this, whether you are very wealthy or not very wealthy, don't like worry about what other people are gonna think. Like at the end of the day, we are literally all at the track for the exact same reason, to go out, shred, have fun. You know, obviously in my situation, it's drive as much as I possibly can with the boys and like get as many laps as I can before one of us breaks something, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's just, I'll leave it there. It's just, trust me, just please do not let what other people, like don't let other people cloud what you're about to do, you know what I mean? Like it's just not worth it. Like go out and have fun. We're all there to do that. Yeah. I don't know where to go from here.
I mean, I think we covered the whole car.
I think so. I'm pretty sure. Oh! Is this still recording?
Yeah.
If you have a cracked windshield, you're probably gonna fail tech too. I forgot to say that. You can't have cracks. Like you can't, it's gotta be a good windshield. It's another safety thing, you know. But yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I probably missed something. If I missed something, someone's going to let me know.
Yeah, I mean, we covered a lot. If you guys have other questions, feel free to comment below, and we'll try and get the answers for you.
I'll reply to them, too, on my own YouTube. I don't post anything on there, but I'll reply to them. You know, I'll help out with the comments. Yeah. Well, if there's anything you take from this, go buy a cheap car and go drifting. What are you waiting for? Duh. And... well, that's it.